allergic to water. You can't eat food. I've got nothing for you.
I'm built different.
You're done.
What can I say?
Built different. I swear.
My friend said that Daniel reminded her of Noel Miller. Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, people think that's a mega compliment.
That's a mega compliment, or should I say, tiny
He's gonna
compliment.
start crying.
I know.
I am. I'm gonna start crying. Don't show her my TikTok. She'll take that back fucking quick.
Take that back.
I take it back. He's not Noel. He's like Lele Pons. Did you actually know that she's Latina?
Did you actually know?
She used to follow me on Vine.
No
She
way.
did?
Lele Pons. I hate you. She did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
But
joking.
this was back when
You're
she was
fucking
like just
kidding. Lele Pons follow you on Vine?
Yeah, but this is before she was big. She was just
Bro.
jumping.
Yeah,
This was her like school videos where she'd just
Yeah,
be falling
I
in
followed-
school. Do you remember
I
that?
followed her when she was doing the school videos, and that's when I preferred her. And then
Yeah.
when she got popular, it was like
It
no
just-
more of the zany stuff. She was like, "All right, time to do sellout."
The school stuff was honestly kind of good. I liked it.
I liked the school stuff too.
There's one
Okay,
where
that
she
was
like
back
freaked
when
out. She jumped off a bridge, and I'm like,
Yes, like
dude,
there were.
it's
What's
just
not
6
funny about
seconds.
that?
She was like in school uniforms, just like
Yeah.
jumping off of tables in the classroom. And
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
I
this
was
is
like,
epic.
what the hell is this?
Yeah, see, that was like what me and my friend aspired to be at the time, and then she blew
just
way up.
jumping off.
It just jumping, just doing stupid stuff. Like we brought like this. It wasn't like actually a dildo, but it looks like a dildo. It's like a squeaky toy. And we would bring it to school, and I would just like throw it at her in the hallway and get people's reactions, and we thought it was like the funniest thing. It was just really stupid. My friends who've been listening to the podcast, they can tell everyone I'm mentioning in all of the stories I tell. They're like, "Is that so and so from high school?" And I'm like, "Don't show this to them. Don't show this."
People ask me that too. You know, all the stories I tell with about all my friends.
All of the friends that I have.
Is
the
that
5,
George from high school? No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Hey, well, we can start off today by saying we hit 100 downloads today. We're actually at like 101, I think. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Poetry snaps.
What?
If you
Like
go
when
to
you
a
do a
poetry
poetry
slam, they
slam.
don't clap. They just
They're
go.
like, yeah.
Poetry slam?
Yeah,
don't
have you
know
ever
what
been one of
those
those?
Oh, am I-
What are you, a loser?
I'm sorry. Is my inner white person showing? I'm sorry.
No, you should know that as a,
White people can't do poetry?
you should know that as a white person at poetry slam.
I don't know what that is.
I was walking through the woods and I felt a cool breeze, and everyone's like, "Wow, I was moving."
What? People
Yeah,
just
dude.
get together and like read
Yeah,
like
they just read
mad poetry.
and
Yeah, and then
sometimes
somebody
they'll-
hits bongos.
Yes. Sometimes there'll be a little guy playing bongos
With the little glasses, the little
Yes,
black
with
glasses.
the little glasses.
And they have a
Just
black
there in the
turtleneck on. And they're
You're
like,
making this up. There's a guy playing bongos.
No, I swear.
Oh
this
my
is
gosh, the
thing.
glasses.
corner. And it's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's life changing.
Life is a jungle, and we hungle through the bungle.
Here's the thing: you can say that, and they'll be like, "Wow, I never thought of it that way," and they'll interpret that into something way deeper than what it has to be.
Yeah.
So
this
it's
is
like
true.
life.
They did one of those at they did one of those at my community college, and me and
no.
my friends went to it. I think it was like an extra credit thing if we went. And this one girl, it was like it was during like Black History Month, so they were having only black students like do their poetry. And one of the girls went up there, and then she was like, polyamory. What a white person thing. And the crowd was like, what? I thought that was like the funniest thing.
That's
That was
hilarious.
like all she said. I was like, preach.
I wish
Yes.
we had good stuff at our college to go to. Our oh my gosh, have I told you about the performance art class I had to take?
No.
So I had tried to find the weirdest extracurriculars, because with engineering, I don't know if this is the same thing with you, Nick, but with engineering, they're like, you've got 3 extracurriculars, and I'm like, oh, I can take anything, and they're like, well, anything in math, like it's you're like, fucking damn it. So like, there's only 2 or something that's like, you really can do almost anything, and they're like, well, most people do, you know, life science or something. I'm like, no, give me the weirdest shit you have. So I took a performance art class because I thought we'll probably watch some movies, and I didn't know what performance art really was at the time.
No.
Yeah, I know what performance art is now, and it's fucking weird. It's like it's the stuff that everyone thinks like a modern art is now. It's just like a square on the wall, laying naked on a bathtub in the middle of a hurricane. Like it's nothing. It's
and what does that mean, Daniel?
What does that mean? And then you
took a class about that. Tell us.
Yeah.
It's one thing to laugh about it. Like the teacher was like, so this guy went to a museum and put an empty frame on the wall, and everyone came around and took pictures. And I was thinking she was gonna be like, haha, that's dumb. And she was like, and it was beautiful. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I love being here.
So you can't troll around in that class because she doesn't have a sense of humor. You can't go and say like I'm gonna perform a poem and then say life is soup and I am the fork, and she won't smile at that.
You know you can, because she doesn't get it. So that's the thing.
So she take it seriously.
Yep. So we had a final project where everyone did exactly what you just said. They just picked a bunch of random dumb shit. One person brought a thing of yarn. They weren't even trying. They're like, we're just going to walk on this yarn through campus. And I was like, fuck you. So through the campus, we walked, this whole class and this dumbass teacher, were all walking on a piece of fucking yarn across the campus where public people are watching us do this. Even the people yelling about the doomsday at the end of time were like, that's fucking weird. Like, no one's with us on this shit.
And what did they say that meant? What did they say that meant?
They were like, well, it's like, the yarn of time, and we're all on the same yarn of time. It's like, it basically Loki. It's this.
But it eventually ends.
It eventually ends, and we look around and everyone hates us. Like,
it's genius.
But she didn't even try to make it. I give her credit because she was like, yeah, I guess we're just going to, fucking walk on it. And teacher was like, yes, I love that.
Genius.
Okay, there are two more things on this and I'll be done. But so one of these videos that she showed, two of them. Okay, so one video it was this guy that took a bunch of random crap through his house and he was going to like play music on it. And I was like, okay, so it's like a Blue Man Group. I can get into that. It wasn't music. There wasn't rhythm to it. He would just walk around, hit a thing, and then go to the other side of the room and then go over there and hit that, and then go up to his mic and go.
It's like dirt on fire or whatever.
So it wasn't even like rhythmic music. It was just random shit. The next one.
What was that?
I don't fucking know. That was she's like, this guy's famous. And I'm like. And then the next one was this dude who was putting clay on his face, like just more and more clay, and he was building it. And we thought the video was like didn't have any sound because you couldn't hear anything. There was no white noise, no nothing. It's just this guy doing this. We're all falling asleep, and at one point he slashes a smile on his face like the fucking Joker, and he goes. And there was sound, so we were like, "Fuck!" We were like, she was like, "Oh, I got you with that one." And we're like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna strangle you with the yarn of time."
Oh my gosh! My brother took like a cinema appreciation class, and he thought they were just gonna watch like old movies. It ended up being a drama class, and my brother is very, very not into that. Like, he made fun of me a lot when I was in high school for doing theater. Mm-hmm. So he goes in there, and it's like, his school is in Central Washington, which is kind of like where the yeehaws are here in this state. So there's not very many, like, queer people or, like, minorities there. And so they all happened to be in that one class. And on the first day, they were like, what are your pronouns? And my brother was the first one, and this was like the first class of the quarter, and he forgot what pronouns were, so he was just like, male, and everybody just like stared at him. All these like queer kids were just like shaking their heads.
That's funny. And
then the next kid's like, they/them, and he was like, oh, that's what those are.
I don't remember like verbs and stuff, but like adjectives or describe things. Adverb. I don't remember what an adverb is.
What if you thought they were adjectives? Fun and quirky.
They're like, what are your pronouns? He's like, quickly. Yes.
Yes.
This final, so the final for this class, before I forget about it, was exactly what Nick said. Everybody, so the yarn thing was a project. Mine, I didn't know this is what people were doing, was just shitting the teacher, and she would give him a full grade. So I actually did something. I made a video. I did like some special effects. It was pretty good. I mean, it was weird because it had to be weird. But, and it exists if you ever want to watch it. It's surrealism, and it's, anyway. But then this one person came up. They were dressed in tuxedo. They had a trumpet. They had sheet music. And I was like, oh, cool. We're going to watch somebody play trumpet. And I'm a music guy, so I'm into this, right? And they get up there, and they clear their throat. They put the thing up, and they stand there, and they don't move for 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
It's a famous piece.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't give it validation.
I knew about it. Yes.
I did not know that's what that was. And, I mean, got done, the teacher was practically in tears crying. And
yeah.
everyone was just clapping
thought they
and
were
jacking off.
That's a
And
different take, because the original take is with the piano.
I hope you choke on that water, Nick. You can't
I
say
thought
that.
they were gonna put the trumpet like up to their ass and then like just fart into it, and they were like, ta-da.
Classy.
I would have loved to do that. That would have been funny. She showed us the original performance of some famous conductor and a whole band. He comes out and he stands there and does it, and then there's 8 minutes of standing ovation, just 8 minutes of clapping, and he keeps coming back out, going back. We watched all 8 minutes of the clapping. Oh my gosh, what a class! It was something. That's all I've got. That's the one story I've ever had.
It reminds me of like Bugs Bunny like coming out on the stage, and just like that's what I imagined was just him standing there like Bugs Bunny would lift his hands and everybody would clap, and that's it.
Oh yeah, okay, now I remember that. It took me a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
That was my only interesting class I had throughout all of college. That was it. All the rest were math and science, and I want to die every day.
At least you guys had like a class that was offered, and actually they went through with it. And at our college they offered an improv class, and I was like, oh, improv, I'll take that. So I signed up, and then I got an email one day before school starts, and they dropped it because I was the only person that signed up.
What?
Dude, they should have had it just
I was
be
like,
you.
no. Yeah, imagine if
So
I don't show up,
good.
the teacher's just pissed. Like, that kid.
Can you imagine how fucking awkward that'd be?
Yeah.
You just
All right,
standing
now-
up there by yourself, and he's just watching you. He's just giving you
Now you're a
scenarios all day.
doctor that can't talk, but he can use his hands.
You're a doctor that can't talk, but he can give a person CPR with his dick.
Prostate.
I'm the patient. my mouth is the heart. You're like, wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
So yeah, that was
Oh,
dropped
man.
from Purdue. Rest in peace.
Oh my gosh.
that's
One of my
so
friends
sad.
this week just asked me to do like an improv class with him, and I
Are
was
you
like,
gonna do it?
I probably will. He's like,
Do it.
everyone I asked immediately has said no, and you're the first person to give me like a maybe. And I was like, you know what? It's not even gonna be a maybe. It's gonna be a yes, because I don't have anything going on with my life right
Good.
now. So I should do this. I should do
Keep
this.
us posted.
He
Do
wants
it,
to
not
do it.
because I care about you, but because it's going to provide a lot of content for the podcast.
That's exactly what I
Film
was
every
thinking.
class.
I was like, it's gonna be
Yes.
so awkward. It's gonna be really good. My friend wants to do it because he wants to make better content while streaming.
That's
So.
funny. But
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
Improv
you would be
class?
really good at improv.
yeah, I
That'd
was like,
be
I
good.
think people just have to be born like witty
Yes.
to be able to do that. I don't think like taking an improv class is gonna make you good at like making content on the fly. Maybe it will. I don't know. Maybe. But
I think everyone can get better, but I don't know if that means you're good. You know what I mean? I think at some point there does have to be some kind of teaching. But I've never had an improv class, so obviously, so I wouldn't know.
Me neither.
I just think some people have it and some people don't.
Yeah, I
Get
definitely
effed.
do not have it. I could.
You do.
No.
No.
See, this is the
no.
reason I don't want to do stand up, because if
No.
when someone's
No,
like, "Shut the fuck up," I have no comeback for that. I've got nothing. I'd be like, "Okay."
Your mom.
Yeah.
Well, you know
You just-
what? I have a
just-
small penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say now, loser?
Let's all walk on the yarn of time.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a
No.
callback that didn't make any sense. This is why improv won't work for me. I'm just gonna call back to random
You're
But
ass
just
it's
shit.
gonna say walkie slush
surrealism
again.
now.
Dude, have you seen real surrealism?
No.
My
No.
video
Choose
wasn't
not to.
jack. I thought surrealism was like, oh, a watch man out of jelly. No, it's like dark shit. Well, I mean, so it's
Yeah,
kind of like The
this-
Lighthouse, if you've seen that movie. But so she showed us one from Salvador Dali, and I was like, oh, the fun guy with the little dorky mustache. And
Fun guy.
yeah, and no, this
slits his throat.
movie was there was somebody in the movie, and he stole the armpit hair off a woman, and he planted it on her face, and it grew out of her mouth. And that's when I killed myself.
That's so disturbing.
It's so
It's
disturbing.
Fun for the whole family.
I mean, I've seen, like, French movies, and supposedly that's surrealism, but normally it's just them trying to be really, like, artsy and, like, smoking a cigarette, so...
Yeah, smoking a cigarette, and then, like, it'll be something normal, like they're just smoking a cigarette, eating bread, and you look down, and, like, their feet are maimed, and they're, like, stomping on more bread. I don't know. It's just random
That's
stuff.
basically, yeah, that's correct.
I don't get
and
it.
then it's in black and white.
I'm trying to remember what was in my video, because she wanted it to be more weird, like more like surrealism. I'm like, no, there's only so far I'll go. And at some point, I think I go up the ladder into our like attic at the time, which was like there's nothing up there. And I just put like an old rotary telephone, and I just dial 666.
Demon.
The devil number. Oh
Did
my
he
gosh.
pick up?
Did he pick up at 3 a.m.?
I wish.
At 3 a.m.
J Station's origin story.
Calling my dead parents at 3
Yo,
a.m.
what is up, you two? We are calling the devil at 3 a.m., guys. Come on, let's do some surrealism, guys.
Gone sexual.
Did you send your teacher a J Station video?
I just edit my face over his.
Yeah.
She's like, this is art. This is fantastic. Oh my
I don't know what
gosh.
any of this means.
I saw a headline that he's back. He's back again. This happens every 3 years, I feel like, doesn't
Didn't he
it?
kill off his girlfriend?
Yep, and he like bought people from
Quote, unquote.
black market and
Yeah, I was like,
all
do you
this
keep
stuff.
up with this? I don't know. Did
I'll
he?
know. I don't keep up with it, but you'll know when he comes back because like Cody Co, Memulus, Willany, everybody and their mom will make a YouTube
Yeah.
video like, yeah, can we just fucking kill this guy? He is absolutely toxic, though. I mean, like, it's the reason people are invested in it is because like he gets sponsors, and as soon as he screws up, like everybody can pull out of ads and stuff again. So he really is like everybody's united into hating him, which is kind of funny. I don't know how you live
Amazing.
like that. You just wake up in the morning, I feel hate, and just go on with your day. I don't know how that works exactly.
I mean, some people just love that shock factor thing.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
don't know.
Who's
I don't know
his
how
target
people do that
audience?
now.
Kids.
It's kids, right?
Yeah. And people that are
Right.
24 like me and want to react to his stuff because there's nothing else to do.
That's the thing.
Reaction
What are
video.
kids into these days that they're just like, man, 3 a.m. I'm gonna call all these random demonic presences and see what happens. Like,
Those
what
are
happened
huge.
when I was a kid, I'd watch Fred. Like, what happened?
Oh, man.
But Fred was. Do you guys know the Like, do you guys remember Fred? Did you guys watch it at all?
Yeah,
Am I
he
only
was
that
like
watched
the
Fred?
first
Yeah, it was
influencer type dude, I guess. I watched
No,
him.
His videos were off the chain. I don't know how.
Yeah, he would
Nickelodeon
just,
was
like-
yeah, this is for kids.
I
No.
remember that. Yeah, it's almost like just because he has like a high voice and he's like a
Yeah, they're like,
like
oh,
a
he's good for
teenager.
kids. But the videos were kind of like dark. Looking back, it's kind of funny.
Yes.
His mom was an alcoholic who kept him in a cage when he was misbehaving.
yeah. I remember.
And he'd
the-
be all
don't
hyper
remember
because
that.
he didn't take his medication.
yeah,
that
and
was
then
like-
he'd just like he'd just go like flop around in a pool, and then he'd be like, and then and me and my friends thought it was funny, and then he made like one too many videos of like the same concept, and we're like, unfollow. It's annoying orange now. Fuck this guy.
Oh, annoying
Oh,
orange. You guys are
Orange, rest
throwing
in
me back.
peace.
The first
hated
person
it.
I ever followed on YouTube was Jillian Smith. Do you remember Jillian Smith?
No.
No.
Oh, dude, that was who I wanted to be because his stuff, like everything was made with like, you know, what I'd call real cameras, you know, stuff that like movies are made out of, like it looks like a legit movie. And it's skits and stuff. I mean, it's like essentially what people try to do now, but I mean, this was back when people weren't doing the stuff and it was super professional. And I was like, because this was back when YouTube was like only for that kind of people. Like there wasn't just like, you know, a random person making videos. But
Yeah.
I love that stuff so much. But yeah,
The first person I loved was the guy who did How to Be Ninja. I'm not gonna say the name because I feel like it's offensive now, but it's a. Do you know who I'm talking about?
It's offensive
no,
right now.
I don't know who that is.
His YouTube name was
Careful.
Niga Higa.
Yeah.
Yes, you remember him?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, he was like, you don't remember that guy?
I've never
Oh my
heard of that.
gosh.
He's
was
the
so
Sham
funny.
Woohoo guy.
Yes.
I
you
didn't.
remember?
Who's the other person I didn't know that you guys were trying to tell me about? Dirty
Oh.
somebody?
No, the Ben something, the one that reads tweets and laughs.
Oh well, no,
I don't
no.
know who that
there
is.
there was a classic like meme person on YouTube that you guys were showing me, and I made a line reference to that person, and you were like, you still don't know who that is?
Filthy Frank.
Yeah.
You kept posting Filthy Frank pictures, and I was like, don't you not even know who Filthy Frank is?
Oh, yeah, you were like, oh, he's the guy from the reaction images.
Yeah, I was like, why do you have, like, 4 images of him? You had, like, one with him with, like, a clock, one with him, like, screaming, and I was like, do you know who that is? And then you're like, no. And I was like, oh.
Everybody apparently has been mad at me all the time for using them. So you even know who he is?
Well,
Don't
he used
them.
to be... He was like satire of like the internet at the time. Like his videos were really out there.
His bio says he's the epitome of everything wrong with the internet.
Yeah, and people just thought that was just how he was. Like he would like go into New York and like pick up rats off of the ground and like eat them. It was stuff like that. So
oh,
you
so
don't
Filthy
remember
Frank.
this?
Yeah, that makes
Filthy
sense now.
Frank,
I
yes.
get it.
Yes, there's Pink Guy. He's
Pink
got
Guy.
some great songs.
Highly recommend.
I do recommend. That we should play you some at some time.
Here's a clip.
Really...
I fuck around for money like a cam whore.
DMCA.
DMCA. Anyway, I signed up for my colonoscopy next week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it next week? No, actually, it's in a couple weeks. Oh, I'm freaked out because
You're excited.
No, like I mean, freaked out like I'm gonna die.
Can't
Like,
wait.
I called them and she was like, all right, so next opening we have is in April, and I was like,
Next opening we have is your ass. I'm sorry.
Got him.
all right, got him. That's what I should have said. I'll say that next time she calls back. I should call them just to say that joke. Call them back right now at 9 p.m. Be like, hey, when's your next opening? When's our next opening? In your ass! And then hang up.
They have your number come up on the caller ID.
So then when I come in for it, they're like, that's him. That's the guy.
Him. They're like, make it painful. Make it hurt.
Grab the bat with nails out of it. That's going to be his colonoscopy stick.
Colonoscopy stick.
Welcome to our chambers. We have the colonoscopy stick. And the boo-boo bat.
And the boo-boo bat. You're like, this doesn't look like a doctor's office. This looks like a dungeon.
I think I'm in a trailer and back of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I?
Here we don't use gloves.
I'm so screwed. Have you ever had you guys have issues. Have you ever had an awake colonoscopy?
I told you I've never had an awake one. That sounds actually like
remember.
torture.
Yeah, it ain't fun. I'll tell you that. But they sprung it on me all of a sudden, right? Have I told this before?
I don't
only
want to
have
see
3
it.
stories, so I feel like I retell them all the time. Yeah. No, so I'm in for like my regular checkup. I'm dying, and it's the same old stuff. And my doctor's like, okay, this isn't working. He like looks to his like assistant, and he's like, all right, we're gonna need to probably do the last 6 inches. Yeah, he's like, well, no, he's done that. He was like, we're gonna need to do the last 6 inches, and I was like, last 6 inches of what? And he pulled the card from Juliana, and he was like, your butt. And I was like,
Yes.
awesome. And so I was like, when do I come back? And he's like, no, we're going to do it now. And I was like, oh, I have not prepared for this at all. So we went
You haven't
back.
done your stretches?
I haven't done my stretches. I didn't bring my dildo.
No.
I am not ready for this. So they take me into the back, and you can see the hose and everything. I mean, yeah, it's essentially the thing, like the sinks that you pull out the handle and you wash off your dishes.
Oh, yeah.
That's essentially what it was. And it had a little bit of a claw on the end. Anyway,
Oh.
yeah. And
Nice.
so the guy came in, gave me the most lube I've ever seen in my life.
Squirting it for like a full minute.
He kissed me on the forehead. It was weird.
I was like, it almost could have been clay. Like he was trying to seal my ass crack shut. I mean, there was no crack anymore. Like there was, the 2 hills. It was one. It just
He
just
whispered in your
sealed-
ear and was like, "Are you ready?"
Like he has, the thing that you smooth concrete with. It's like he smoothed my ass with it, so it's just one cheek.
Oh,
It was so much. I'm not even kidding. Oh
no!
my gosh.
Please put me to sleep for
And
that. I don't
then-
want to see it.
After all that, I'm not going to get too grotesque here, but it
No,
must
go
have been
ahead.
so much that he couldn't see through it because he missed it when he jammed the thing. And
You were
I
like,
had
wrong
to-
hole.
And he
Oh.
tried twice, and I had to actually speak up and say, "You missed my asshole." I never thought I'd have to say that
He was
out
like,
loud
"Is it in? Is it
in my
in?"
life, but I did.
Oh no!
In the meantime, not only could I feel that it wasn't in there, but they forgot this. So there's a camera in it, and they connect it to a giant TV. And you would think it's just going to be for them. They're going to see it. They're going to see whether there's cancer or not, all that stuff. No, they put it in front of me so that I can see it. And they're like, look, now you can see inside your ass. Like, this is what they all grew up with wanting to do, right? So I'm sitting there on my side just like... And because I'm on my side, and I'm tearing up anyway, just because I'm laying there,
It's
but I look like I'm
happiness.
crying. Like, this is so beautiful. Yeah. So he misses it. I have to say, hey, you missed it, and he's doing his thing. I'm like, it's not that bad. There's 8 people in here. It could be worse. And then just then, he's like, oh, by the way, this is our it's not co-op. I forget what you call nurse people that are in school that aren't anyway.
I know what you're talking
Brings her in, and it's like, and I'm like sitting there, like kind of turn my head over, right? And it's like the hottest person I've ever seen that's my age. And I was like, of course.
Your butt just clenches up. You're like, no.
Of course. I'm just on a table on my side with 8 men. It's just, this is how these things start on the internet, or so I've heard.
I had a genuine question about, guys getting, prostate exams and, colonoscopies when they're younger and stuff. And apparently, when I Googled it, it was yeah, they can orgasm when it happens. And I'm like, imagine how embarrassing that would be. It doesn't happen to, older guys. They get their, they get, a prostate exam in their 50s. Not so much, but if they're in their 20s... and they've got, butt issues, and they gotta get that checked out, and the doctor sticks a finger up there, they can just coom everywhere.
Thank you. I'm so glad I know that now, so now I can be thinking about that next time
You're welcome.
I can give them some fun facts while we're standing there.
Now you have that to worry about.
Why did they
Daniel
put the
walks
TV...
into his next colonoscopy. He just has a ring of sweat around the ring of his shirt.
I'm just dripping in sweat. In TikToks when someone wants to look like they're sweating, they're just dripping water. I just walk in dripping wet. I'm ready for my prostate.
I'm ready!
She just looks down the hallway, half the lights are off. I'm just in the back with
It's that one
I'm
video
ready.
of you in the hallway.
That's what I want to do now. I want to go there, and they're going to call my name. They're going to realize I'm not in there and be like, what? They look around the corner. I'm in the back. I'm like, Transformers, roll out!
Your pants are already off.
Full on boner.
Call security now.
Pissing through a full on boner.
Where is the female nurse?
Oh no. The 8 men doctors come in. Oh, I'm ready for this.
Get the camera.
Let's get them in there, guys. It's just 8 guys pushing me back and forth in a circle, trying to get me in the room.
Oh my god. It's
I'm just my brain's cracked. I just keep reciting lines.
Spread them! Stop resisting!
Stop quoting Transformers and unclench your asshole. Oh, good times.
There we go. We got our first merch.
Oh, jeez. There you go.
Tagline.
The patch is just a puckered asshole, asterisk looking thing.
The neck hole is just sorry, never mind.
No.
Really leave that one to the imagination. Anyway, what I want to know is why they put the TV in front of me. Can you imagine if they found cancer? How good would that have blown over? You're just sitting there watching the TV, and they're like, oh, uh-oh. You're like,
Uh-oh.
oh, what's that? And they're like, that's cancer. And you're like,
oh my gosh. One of
All
my
right.
mom's cousins got, a colonoscopy done, and it was just, a routine thing. But then they made a bunch of, scratches when they were going in there with the tube, and basically it got infected and flared up, and she almost died, and then she couldn't sue.
That's
and then
terrible.
and then they were like, all right, and when you go in for yours, it'll be totally fine. And I was like, okay, the one person I know that I'm related to with experience with this almost died, so I don't want to do this. And then when they were
It's so nice
carting
that
me
you're
in-
telling Daniel this right before he goes to get this.
Okay, he's had it. You know what? His guts are fucked up already. You know what?
they're done.
It's not gonna do it.
I've
There's no difference.
Enough.
Tune in next week when I know I've got cancer. This is going to play back really well when I do have cancer.
You're like, well, you know what? I can laugh about it.
Well, you know what? I might as well laugh about it.
That's
Run
all
out
you
the
can do. You
all
know
you
what?
can do.
That's why we're funny, because of trauma. That's why.
This is
you
true.
have to laugh
That's
about
the
it or you
stereotype.
cry. It's true.
That's the stereotype.
Yeah, so when they were carting me in, I was already like panicking when I was
Yeah,
getting
I'll bet.
stuff done, and I was like, this is my first time going under for anything, and then the freaking Highway to Hell was playing on the doctor's laptop. Like, he was just playing it, and he's like, and like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
was just going under, and I was like, oh, this is how I die. This is what I'm gonna die to.
Recite
I'm
the
gonna
lyrics.
wake up-
Recite the lyrics.
Yeah. They're like, Highway to Hell. And then I wake up and I'm in hell.
What?
You wake up and you see the devil.
Yeah.
I was.
Damn.
That was actually the first time. Okay, actually, it's the second time I went under, but like this was like a lot going under. It wasn't like wisdom teeth, but like I was so worried what I was gonna say when I got out. Because my parents were there, and when I
Yeah.
finally came to, I was like, "Did I say anything?" And my mom's like, "Talk to your father." And I was like, "Oh."
Oh no.
And apparently, when I came back out, I was like, "Man, I'm glad I didn't get a boner."
No, it was like that. It was.
And my mom was like, "Yeah, that's good." And I was like, "Yeah, but there was no chance. Cause did you see that nurse? She was hideous."
Yeah. The nurse is just right there.
Right, I'm sure she was.
Shattered her confidence.
I
Oh,
can't
no.
imagine. That's absolutely awful.
That's heartbreaking.
I've never said anything that horrible in my life. That is terrible. Because it's such a weird thing. Because I genuinely don't care about like that. It's just so funny that like drunk me was like. That's
Oh
just
my
so funny
God,
to me.
dude.
Women, holes, am I right?
Gosh.
And then that was it.
Stop.
And then that was
Jeez.
the one thing you said.
That's not the one. Okay.
Yes, it was. Stop lying.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like,
Oh,
women,
God.
not funny, only use holes.
Stop.
Dude,
You're still
you're
going.
literally no. You're the one that said that. I'll back
That
up
was a
Daniel
quote
on
from
this.
Daniel.
Daniel's never said this. One time at 3 a.m, Lively messaged me and she goes, "Women are holes." No other
That was it.
context.
There was no context.
And I was like, what is this?
It was like all capitalized.
She
It was
left
like,
you unread.
No,
Yeah,
he said
no.
something.
Why are you sending me this?
Juliana leaving someone unread? Unheard of.
No, I just never open anything.
That's what
Dude,
unread
you
is,
could
isn't it?
snap.
No, unread
No.
is when you read it, you dumbass. What the? Do you not understand English? What the?
No, I've sent Lively snaps in like February to this day, which is July 14th. She has not opened them.
I genuinely sent, because I knew she wouldn't respond, I knew it'd be therapeutic, I sent her a paragraph sometime a month ago where I was like, today's just really bad. It just sucks. There was this going on. I'm just depressed. I don't really know where the end is. So
Oh my
somewhere back in those messages, there's just a cry for help.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no.
Like, I would, like, this is never going to happen. This is a joke. I'm just prefacing this. But if one day I
won't kill
committed
myself.
not alivened,
Yes.
it'd be like a year later, and Juliana would be like,
Oh,
oh, I've got
shit.
evidence!
I could have stopped him.
I could have
Oh,
stopped it
shit.
a year ago.
You know what? That might be part of why I just don't open people's phones. I have that urge to just talk to everybody, and just like, so many of my friends are always like, I'm gonna kill myself. They don't, but then I always feel bad if I don't respond, so I'm always like, wait.
That's your advice?
I'm like, wait, please don't do it.
The response to that is to never open their messages ever.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My dad's best friend in high school, he killed himself. This is not funny. Why am I laughing?
I love how you
I'm
laughed
so sorry.
extra hard with that
Story
one.
of
You're
my
like,
life is
Okay,
I laugh
he's
at all this stuff.
He killed himself. And he messaged my dad, like, he left him a voicemail and was like, you know, I'm feeling not the best. I just really need you here right now. My dad was like out with friends, and then he got that message, and then the next day it was like, well, he killed himself. And so that's always been a fear of mine.
That's the end of the
Also-
story.
Yeah, it's the end of the story. Also,
so
this
your
one
dad
kid,
just holds that over his shoulders
yeah.
for the rest of his life.
yes, he
and here
was,
you are giggling.
I'm sorry, I laughed at
Yeah.
that little situation.
Lively.
I laugh telling. I don't have very many stories, but I was laughing telling a story in class at some point in high school. I remember this, and at some point someone was like, "Why are you laughing, psychopath?"
You're like, Holocaust.
You know, this okay. I only have like 3 stories, so this is one of them. So the story I was telling in high school, this thing that I remember, it's burned into my brain now. it was not even my story. It's my dad's story. He was just driving home one day on the highway or on the like back road countryway. So it's like 60 miles an hour. So you usually go like 70. And he's just driving along, and all of a sudden a dog just jumps out of the hill, and he just full on obliterates this dog, right? And he's in the middle of kind of nowhere, so he gets out of his car, and the first thing he does is he checks his car, because there was no way that dog survived, right? And as he's checking his car, he looks over and he sees there's a family down the hill watching him. And what happened was they have a kid with them, and the dad was holding the leash, and the kid was like, let me walk the dog. The dad was like, oh, I don't know, honey. And they're like, I can do it. And he's like, okay, here. Let's go with the leash. Dog runs up the hill. Dad's like, I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Oh, no.
It's hilarious.
One time when I went to Girl Scout camp, like, the second my parents dropped me off, they, like, got onto the road, and my dog, like, not my current dog, my previous dog, like, immediately jumped out of the car and, like, tried to kill itself, like, the second I wasn't there. It lived. It just scraped up its chin.
Chin?
Yeah, it landed on
Jumps out of the car and chin.
Yeah, it did. It landed, like, the whole bottom of their chin was effed up. And I was like, like,
It's actually kind of impressive.
That miming is so good.
I'm just trying to imagine this dog falling out a window in this most unnatural state ever. Can you imagine being in a car next to your car watching this happen? You're just watching the window, like, the
That
window's
dog
like
just
half
dived
down.
head first.
The window's like half down. The dog's like getting ready to. You're like, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do
We
it.
never let the window all the way down with dogs so they won't jump out, and he just, like, wiggled his way out of the little crack. Like, when they picked me up from camp a week later, I was like, oh my god, what happened to his face? And they're like, well, about 5 minutes after we dropped you off, he almost died. And I was like, I was gone for 5 minutes and you almost killed my dog?
Aw. What happened to that dog?
Very, very traumatic story for me.
Oh, yeah, let's skip that. Skip it.
His intestines exploded out of his body, and I watched it.
What part of skip it translates?
Hey, Daniel, remember when you labeled this as relaxed comedy?
I'm gonna have to go back in our actual description and change it so that every directory is like, sorry, I meant the worst thing you've ever heard.
Yeah, that dog was like the total opposite of my current dog. Like, last dog, totally calm, totally well behaved. My current dog,
He just couldn't keep his organs inside of him.
yeah, he's completely a spat. Except this dog, his organs are gonna be effed up from all the like shit he eats. You know, he just eats like plastic and like twigs and rocks. So
What a guy.
what a guy.
What's the? You said he's the opposite. What's the opposite of your guts exploding?
No, I don't
Your
mean
gut's
how
not
he's gonna
exploding.
die.
I guess.
I mean,
But like, that's just normal. Man, my dog is the opposite of intestines exploding. He's normal.
Yeah, his intestines
What?
came out of his butt, so maybe
I don't
this
wanna
dog's
know.
intestines will come out of his mouth. I don't know. Guess he had a prolapsed anus.
Stop. You're still going on about it. We've got people listening. We got people paying for
Yeah,
this.
sorry, people. Oh, yeah. So, back on stories where I feel bad about people killing themselves.
No, please.
Yes, the better.
I don't have any
subject.
more performance art stories. We gotta save Juliana from herself.
When I was on the school bus, there was this guy who would sit next to me every day because... Why are you laughing? I'm telling a story.
The first, hold on. The first episode that we had was like, haha, funny jokes and stuff. Second episode, stalkers. Third episode, so people kill themselves. Like, it's just, man, we're just really building that track record.
You know what?
I can't promote this anymore. I'm like, comedy hour, and everyone's like, I'm really depressed.
I don't want to listen to this. There's a joke in here somewhere. Okay, let me get to it.
I like how you said that like you weren't sure. You're like, let's find this together. Person died. Where's the funny?
Where is the? Okay, this kid. There
I'm like
were
sweating.
my friends would sit on the bus with each other, and every day I would get on the bus kind of late. I'd hop on, and I'm like, oh man, there's no seat next to them, so I'd sit down, and then this kid would sit next to me every day, and one of these days, I had like a bunch of crap in my backpack, and I just beamed the shit out of him. Like, I hit him with my backpack really hard when I took it off. I just kind of looked at.
Mad?
I looked at him and was like,
Screw this person in particular.
I hit him with my backpack. My backpack was just really big, okay? You know what? It was huge. I had, like, my laptop in there, my lunchbox in there.
Okay, flex. We got it.
Okay.
You're smart.
All the whole shebang. What? Okay.
It's filled with my physics books.
Yeah, I've never taken a physics class to this day.
Ooh.
I've just avoided it.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah. Fuck you, engineers. Anyway, so... so, I hit him with the backpack. I look at him and I'm like, oops. Like, normally I say sorry, because I hit him almost every day. But today I hit him particularly hard. I was in the middle of talking to my friend.
Wait, you hit him every day? I missed that part.
Like, almost every day. My backpack was just really big, okay?
You're just an asshole.
How do you hit someone every day accidentally? That's just domestic abuse.
So, like, I didn't say, like, sorry that day. Apparently, that kid went home and killed himself, like, actually, like, right after he got home from school, and I was the last person to say anything to him, and it was just me saying oops and hitting him with my backpack. Anyways, that's not the joke. So I get on the bus the next day, and I'm like, damn, it's really dead in here, huh, guys?
I need 60 seconds to recover.
No! Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. So I get on the bus the next day and say, wow, it's really dead in here. And then my bus driver, like, scowls at me, and I'm like, what the F? Like, nobody was on the bus, so I was confused. And then I get to school, and, like, my first period class, that guy was in there, and my teacher was like, we have an announcement that so-and-so killed himself yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's why the bus driver was mad at me! I wasn't making a joke. I didn't know he killed himself. But yes, so the bus driver didn't like me after that.
Here's a question. Was the joke worth the journey that we had to go through to get there? That's...
But fine, cut this out.
I'm not. It takes too much time. It's in.
No!
Oh, gosh.
I'm not a bad person. I didn't make him kill himself.
It took
I felt
3
really guilty.
episodes total to find out Lively is garbage.
I am the reason people kill themselves.
I don't understand why people... I mean, I get that it's a hard thing, but that same thing sort of happened to me. It happened to everybody. But, like, if you don't... How would you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why people would get pissed at you for that. It's like... Now, if you
Yeah.
did it after she told you, well, then yeah. But, I mean, like...
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like every movie, I feel like that's happened to everybody at some point. You were too happy at, like, a moment that's serious for everybody else,
Yes.
but it took you a second to catch up. But everyone's like, you bastard. I mean, it's
I
like...
didn't-
Sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't
I felt
know.
so bad. And then, like, the, like, following week was, like, an awareness thing at school where it was like, oh, kindness week. And I was like, oh, I would like to, like, talk at the assembly. Because they were like, does anybody want to talk about this kid? Because nobody knew him. And they were like, does anybody want to talk about being kind? And I was like, I think we should just, like,
Yeah, the
tell
backpack
everybody to,
girl
like...
that hit him in the head.
yeah, I was like, you know, I never, like, took a moment to talk to him or anything, even though I sat with him on the bus every day. So I was like, maybe
Just digging
it's just
a deeper
like,
hole for yourself.
no, like, I was saying maybe it would be a good idea to, like, you know, smile at people and, like, ask them how they're doing. Like, that could be enough to, like, you know, change their day.
Here's one. You know what might have changed his day? You know what actually what might have changed his every day? He didn't hit him every day with the backpack.
Yes, but the teacher was like, no. And so they didn't have anybody speak about kindness at all. They had some kid come in an elf suit and go like, eh, and like sunglasses and was like,
What?
Eh, and that was what they did instead. And I was
No,
like,
you're joking.
no,
What?
no, my school was
This
so
can't be a
stupid.
real thing.
No, it was so
You're
stupid.
such
This
a
is real.
liar, dude. What?
You're lying. Yeah. No, because no one hires an elf on Suicide
didn't.
Day.
They didn't hire them. It was just a student.
It was the school elf.
Well, of course they didn't hire him. That'd be too much money for the school.
Yeah, it was just like this popular kid.
We spared no expense for the suicide elf.
Okay, it
All
wasn't
right.
it wasn't about suicide awareness. It was about kindness.
It's
Okay.
elf on a shelf, but it's like elf on a shelf.
Yes. Elf on the shelf.
Elf on the edge of a building.
Yes.
Sorry.
No more suicide jokes.
Elf needs help. No, there's a joke here somewhere. Elf on a help.
There's somewhere
There's a joke
Keep
here.
looking.
I've got nothing. This is just sad.
Oh.
All right.
Yes,
well,
I remember one time I was at my community college and I was taking a nutrition course and I had to do a project on like creamy guacamole.
you
and,
doing a
like,
nutrition class is the
blue-
most ironic thing.
Yes, and blue corn. Yeah, I know. I have the worst diet ever. I just ate
I don't
Taco
drink
Time.
water.
I can't drink water. Every food
I'm
poisons
drinking-
me. I've had the Wendy's 4 for 4 for 274 days.
Yes. And I had to take that class. So I was in there, and then I was partnered up with this random guy, and we put... Do you remember that song? I think it was on Vine, where it was like, guacamole, guacamole.
That
Yes.
originated
So,
from YouTube, I think.
Even I know
yeah,
that
it
was
came
on
from
Vine,
YouTube.
too.
Yeah. And so we just put that clip in there at the end of the video. Nobody laughed. It's fine. We just sat there and let it play. Anyway, so like the night after the presentation, first of all, the kid didn't come, who was my partner, who was supposed to present with me. I was like, fine, whatever. That night, he's like, I don't have anyone else in my life, but I'm about to kill myself, and I need you to call me right now. And I was like, I don't know who this is. And then I had to talk to him for like an hour. So
Did it work?
yeah, he didn't kill himself.
Okay,
So
that's good. Let's end it on a fucking high note. Jeez.
You've redeemed yourself.
I saved one.
I was waiting for you to be like, no, he did. He died. He's gone. After that phone call, in fact.
I'm at
I
neutral
declined the
now.
call.
Juliana unknowingly has just killed so many people in her life. Just her presence is just enough to push people over the fucking edge.
I'm at neutral. I've saved a life, and I've
You've killed, like, what, 4?
I haven't killed anyone.
Terrible. Absolutely awful.
Neutral. I'm like the chaotic neutral. I'm
I can't get over the fact that an elf came up for the Suicide Prevention Week. I still
know
can't
what?
get past. That's a skit on somewhere. That's something. That's an SNL right there. That's a really badly timed SNL.
They were
Oh,
so
man.
bad. They
Can
were.
you-
What did the elf do? I'm so confused.
They just came out there and tried to like hype up the crowd, and that was
When
Hype
someone
them up?
died?
yeah, like someone died. Yeah,
Come
somebody
on, the
died the
crowd's
week.
dead today.
Literally, nobody knew. No one cared, right? And then at the end of the assembly, they had a slideshow presentation of students who had passed away from the school, like previous students and current students who've like passed away like
sad.
over the last basically since the school has opened. It opened in like 97, I think.
And
So it's not
Juliana
like a
found
super
out
old
that they
school.
all had connections to her.
They all killed themselves because of me. And it's, so they put everybody in these slides, and it was like people who died like 15 years ago. Some dumb kid in our school district who was riding on top of one of the cars during lunch and then fell off and cracked their head open and died.
Holy
like
crap.
at one of our rival schools.
Can we move on?
Anyway, so they put all these, like, kids in this PowerPoint, and they didn't put the kid who just killed themselves the week before. And then, in the yearbook, they didn't give him a page or anything. They gave him, like, a really small picture in the back and was like, rest in peace. Like, on a page that was filled with, like, sporting things and, like, other, like, fun, like, it
The
was like,
ad
oh,
page.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
it was the
the
senior
ad page.
ads. It was the senior ads. It was, like, the mom where it's like, good job, Jessica, you're such a great daughter, yay, I can't believe you graduated from high school like everybody should do, that's so great. And then the kid who killed himself just had like a really tiny picture in the corner where it was like, rip. And I was like, this school.
Yearbook people are the fucking worst, dude. That's the way our senior yearbook was. Oh my
So
gosh.
that was part of why I joined Yearbook my senior year, because I was like, they're not gonna fuck this up. If someone's dying, you know what? I'm doing them justice in my grade.
And did anyone die?
No one died.
Did you guys ever have the ads from parents or from people where they were like, the person beneath me sucks balls? Like, did you guys ever have that stuff? That would have been a really
No, I
unfortunate
wish.
year to have your ad in there.
Oh my gosh, there was this dead kid.
Memorial page!
At least I was better than this guy. And you're like, oh
Oh
no.
no. That's so funny.
That's terrible.
No,
Absolutely terrible.
I was in Yearbook, and like one of my best friends was in charge of like just the senior pictures, like putting them in there, and people would like send them late. People wouldn't crop them right. They would have like a weapon in
Yeah,
there.
I
Like
can't
one
remember.
girl had like a
what?
sword and like a flame in her hand, and was like,
How'd she get it into
had,
the
like,
school?
Elf
Oh,
ears.
senior
no,
pictures.
These
Sorry,
weren't
sorry.
like pictures like
Sorry,
that
yeah.
we took there. These
I'm
were like
dumb.
the ones you send in. So like she would message them and was like, "Oh, this isn't approved. You need to send something else in." And then like they wouldn't send it in time, and then the yearbook was like already sent to the publisher, and people were like, "What the fuck? You used my wacky senior picture?" And then like raged and like sent my friend death threats, and she's like, "I tried." It was so so
Yeah,
good
that
times.
definitely happens. For our senior yearbook, every other one was fine. This one, our senior yearbook, somehow, for some reason, it fell completely apart. It was absolute ass. I was so fucking pissed. They had like double pictures, but they were different. I don't know where they got them. It wasn't like they accidentally put double pictures. It was like they put Taylor, and then they put Taylor again, dressed in something different with a different background. Where did you get it? Who the fuck knows?
What?
It was things like this. There was this poor kid that was on this kid was great. He was on our cross country team. Super nice. Family was great. He was new that year. And so in the yearbook, they just put question marks by his name. That's the worst thing you've ever heard.
No.
It's so
They should've
sad.
just left it blank.
And
like,
I was...
question marks is worse.
Question marks is so much worse. I was livid because cross country is obviously always the overlooked sport. I get that. But like at our school, it had been 11 years in a row we've gone to state. So it's the most successful sport at our school. And they they didn't accidentally. I mean, they put the golf section in the cross country section and left the golf section as the golf section. So it's just us as the team, and then like the golf team did really great this year. We went to semifinals, and I was so mad.
It's just blank. Yeah, I wrote, so the band was, like, a really big thing at my school because, like, we had no successful sports teams. So everybody was like, yeah, our band won the state thing again, woo! And so, like, in the yearbook, I had to write a paragraph about the band. Not even, like, a paragraph, like, a whole page because of how important the band was. And I was, like, just stringing it out as much as I could. Like, I totally BS'd. I was like, the band is the mitochondria of our school. It's the literal powerhouse. And the band students, let me tell you, they shit themselves over that. They liked it. So...
Juliana just starts, like, halfway through, she just phases it into, like, a page from, like, the science textbook, and it's just going on about cells, and they're like, yes!
They're like,
yes, bro! The nucleus!
The cell membrane.
Yes.
We are the cell membrane! I wish I was at a school that actually liked band. Ours was the fucking worst, because ours was Hicktown, so everyone loved football, and because I did band because pep band's great. But we had to do marching band during the football half the semester, so we had to get out in the stupid hats and feathers and bullshit. Bunch of people that couldn't play anything, march around the mud while all the men looked at us and were just...
the football playing men.
Tell you what, it's the most emasculating thing, and that's coming from a guy with one testicle, so... This is why I don't do improv. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. No, seriously, the fucking... Whoever made the costumes for marching band
we didn't
don't
have
die.
marching
What would you
band.
prefer the costumes to be?
Nothing. I prefer not to
naked?
be playing for the why are we playing for the football team in dorky costumes? No one
Because
cares.
you're a happy little tune as people are,
No one cares that we can come out at
tackling each
halftime
other.
and march and stand in a circle and play "Can't Hold Us" by Macklemore. Like, no one gives a shit. I don't get it. And the worst part is it was always something. It was always muddy. It was always rainy. I mean, it was just, you're sloshing around in mud, and you're like, I want to fucking die.
Like, marching band heroes because the weather's too bad. Also, Macklemore, he's like an icon where I live. Like, he's
Really?
from Seattle. Like,
Oh.
my Spanish teacher was like, yeah, I went to school with him. I sat on the bus with him. He was alright. He always tried to hand out, like, CDs to everybody. He was annoying. And I was like, yes. I was like, that's so cool. Also, one time at work, he was at the opening day of where I worked at the stadium, and there was like this huge like security guard. Like, he busted open the door, and I had to go grab some like boxes to bring out to hand out things to fans. And I was turning around the corner with the box, and Macklemore just like crashed really hard into me, just like smashed into me, and I was like, oh! And I look up, and it's just freaking Macklemore, and I'm like, oh! And then his security guard like pushes me out of the way, and I was like, why did you do that like 1 second ago? What the?
Yeah, take the 300 security guard and toss the 5-foot girl over in the corner.
Yes!
Don't know what kind of...
Ragdolled you?
She might cause Macklemore to kill himself. Get her away.
Yeah, that's the fear.
He starts beating you?
Yeah, he was this huge guy, and he just like flew me to the side with his
You
hand,
were a
and I was
threat to
like,
Macklemore.
I'm loving the way this is playing out in my head, because I'm imagining you, just this little girl holding the box, and she runs into Macklemore, and this 300-pound guard just throws you
That's
against the wall,
exactly
just back
what
like...
happened. You know what? You don't know. That box could have been a bomb.
My back
Who
is
knows?
broken. Shut the fuck up!
No one disrespects Macklemore.
No one disrespects Macklemore.
just kicking her right in the stomach every time.
Yes. Oh, that was
That'd be
great.
the word. Like people keep coming in the hallway and just kicking her just because Macklemore's doing it. This isn't even a
Yes.
bit. This is just. Oh
They
my
love
gosh.
Macklemore there, let me tell you.
That's so funny.
In
I had a
Seattle.
friend that his mom went to school. So I mean, she was from Detroit or wherever. So she went to school with Eminem, and I was like, "What? What was that like?" And she was like, "He was an asshole."
He was an asshole.
It's
What
like
do
I
you
don't know why I
expect?
expected anything different, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, my friend said that her friend's mom dated Bill Nye, and like I guess he was like a real dick to like her and like the other kids that would come around him, and I was like, I thought Bill Nye loved children because Bill Nye's like
Really?
also like a local celebrity. He used to be on like this show, I think it's called Almost Live. It was like Saturday
It
Night
was
Live
called
for
Bill Nye
Seattle.
the Science Guy.
No, he was
Before
also
before
on that. He was
Yeah,
also
a lot
on
of
that.
people say he's an idiot. Like, he's actually, like, really critical to kids, and he's annoyed by them.
Yeah, and but like I grew up like loving him because like they always played it in my science classes, and everybody's like, dude, he's from Seattle, and so I always really liked Bill Nye. And my friend was like, yeah, basically we like tried to come up to him and like we were like Bill Nye and like jumped on him, and he literally was like, all right, f off, and then like just went on a date with my friend's mom, and I was like,
That's so funny. To be fair, you did say they jumped on him.
yeah, they were kids. What do you?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what the nice thing about like Mr. Rogers is that like all the stories about him are like perfect, and everyone else hates kids.
I didn't grow up with Bill Nye. I grew up with Beakman's World. I don't know if
Oh,
you guys
really?
know what
What was
that
it?
is.
I don't know.
Beakman's World?
Is that from the Muppets?
No, it's
Are
a
you talking
guy.
about
Oh, that's Beaker. Sorry,
Yeah, it's Beaker. No, it's a
Sorry.
guy with like hair pointing like straight up.
Beaker.
No, it's Beakman.
And it goes like beep, 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 beep.
He keeps describing. He's like, no, he went like this.
And he had like a flappy mouth. No, Beakman's World. I thought it was way better than Bill Nye because they actually used. Well, as a kid, I thought it was like better humor. It was more comedy based,
Right.
but you're also learning stuff. Also, there was a guy in a rat suit.
Nice.
No context
Chuck
as
E.
to why.
Cheese.
No, like legit. He had tattoos.
Oh,
It was like
What the
roughly.
fuck?
Yeah, but they like
What?
acknowledged that it was a guy in a rat suit. It was weird. It was bizarre, but I loved it.
I'm just imagining them every once in a while making a random cut to this guy standing in the back with a rat costume. Just like, and then that's when you make the H2O. Oh, look, there's Barry. Anyway, back to how we make water.
In middle school, my favorite Bill Nye bit was when it was like the crust of the earth. Oh my gosh, Joker laugh.
Daniel just made it way more bizarre than it had to be. Man.
I'm just saying.
That's
They're just like,
disturbing.
let's go to our
That's
locker
traumatizing.
and get our stuff. And they open the locker and the mouse is just in the locker. They're like, there it is. Grabs the bag.
That's all he's there for. That would be a good running gag, honestly.
Oh,
if
that'd
I
be
were a
so
kid,
great.
I'd be amused.
To have like a deep fried rat. Just...
Oh my god.
Lively, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
It was
Go on.
not remotely funny. It was just it was my favorite Bill Nye gag where it was like one episode where it was talking about the layers of the earth. It was like, this is the crust of the earth, and it was like them eating bread, and the kid would only eat the crust of like the bread loaf, and then they like made a callback to it in like another episode that had nothing to do with the crust of the earth, and the kid was just like, and then the mom's like, Jimmy, no! And like I always thought that. And
I
was
tried
like,
I tried to make a straight face when you were just talking about crust, and I couldn't fucking do it.
crust. Yeah.
You were right. It wasn't remotely funny. I never really saw Bill Nye. Yeah, I never grew up on. We didn't really do that stuff. We did like Mythbusters. I love Mythbusters so much.
Mythbusters cool at least.
Oh,
Oh
dude.
wait, I have a
Mythbusters
question. Did you guys
was the
grow up
shit.
with like regular public access TV, or did you guys have cable growing up?
Just PBS.
Yeah, okay, I grew up with PBS, and then on the weekends, I don't know how you guys had it, but for us, they'd show us like cable stuff on the weekends on like ABC or CBS or whatever. They'd show the cable stuff there.
Yeah.
So Saturday mornings, it was like you have half a day to watch cable TV. It starts at like 6 or 5 in the morning, and it ends at 12. So if you wanted to watch cable, you got to watch it on channel like 5 or 7 or 2. And I remember wanting to get up at like 5 a.m. because there was a show called Coconut Fred. And I was like, oh, that's remarkable. That's crazy. I want to see whatever
I need
Coconut
to see
Fred
what
That's
is.
this is
remarkable.
And my parents are like, no, why are you getting up at 5? Go sleep. What do you mean? So I never got to watch it. And I thought about this a few years later, and I Googled up Coconut Fred because I was like, what was this show that I wanted to see so bad? And all the ratings are like, this is one of the worst shows I've ever seen. They all said it was like a knockoff of SpongeBob. But
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because it's SpongeBob and Coconut Fred.
Yeah, Coconut Fred was the knockoff that I never got to watch. I don't even know if there's like existing video of it, but
okay, we gotta do a YouTube React video where we react to Coconut Fred.
Oh my
One
gosh,
day.
I've never heard of that before.
beautiful.
I don't know, but they pushed it so much that as a kid, I'm like, yeah, that's what and when I was a kid, I thought that was like up there with SpongeBob. I'm like, yeah, that's a good
that
show.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Because they promoted it so much, and I was like, yeah, Coconut Fred, I want to see that. But it was only on at 5 a.m, so I never got to watch it.
Golly.
No,
Okay, now I want to see the knockoff to every kid's show. It's like you got Big Bear in the Big Blue House, and you've got Little Rat in the Dumb Shit Little Shit House.
Yes. Rat in the show.
Little dumb rat in the little poorhouse.
Crack house.
Little dumb shit rat in the poor dumb little workhouse, union workhouse, bitch.
It just gets
Little dumb rat.
worse.
Hi, I'm little dumb rat. I'm going out to get my food stamps.
Oh my god.
Shit. Kicked out.
That's a terrible theme for
And then the show
children's
ends by him getting stomped, and then it zooms out, and it's Big Bear from the Big Blue House.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh, one time I was working at like one of the places
Crack
where they
house?
give out food. No, one of the places where they give out food. And
Crack kitchen?
yeah, it was like a soup kitchen type thing, and this lady was coming to like redeem like her food stamps, and like my brother was handing out food. She was this really large woman, right? Like really heavy. And then like my brother was like, "Would you like a banana, ma'am?" And then she's like, "Not from you, fatty." And I thought it was
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
funny.
"Look who's talking." Good god.
And then after you said that to her, she chucked you against the wall.
Yes, and she kissed me. She gave me a big smooch.
She did?
No.
Oh, could have fooled me.
She gave me. No, and then I fed her the banana. No.
What did he do after that? Was he just holding a spoon like...
He was just holding the banana and was like, "Oh,"
Oh.
and then one of the next Boy Scouts gave her a banana instead.
So she took it from someone else.
Yeah, she took it from
Wow.
John was like in charge.
I'll
of the
take it from
bananas.
him. He's skinny.
Yeah,
Aww.
he was like in charge of the bananas, and then he had to like bring someone over to hand the lady a banana.
She looks at him, why don't you eat one?
Yeah, she's like, "Eat a
Aw.
fruit, fatty." Oh my gosh.
That's so sad. Especially when you're doing something good. Like, I can imagine, like, I'm gonna go do something good, get some community service, and then you just leave, like, I want to fucking die. That's
My
so
brother and I
sad.
used to just volunteer all the time. That was like the club I made at my college was just a volunteering club. So we did this thing called the Backpack Buddies, and we would just fill backpacks with food for like elementary schools or
That's
high
cute.
school.
That's
So you're like, "Oh wait, she's not an asshole." I did one nice.
I didn't say all
Thanksgiving.
that now.
I was gonna say.
I just said that particular activity was nice.
Yes.
Yeah, wait till she
used-
gets into the story. She's like, yeah, we had in the backpacks of food, weapons.
we
And there were
threw them at
bombs.
kids.
There were bombs inside.
All the
Oh,
food was
yeah.
spoiled.
All the food was spoiled.
It was just
We
full of
poisoned
bananas. We
children.
called them fatties.
Yes. Yes.
Backpack. Can you imagine? That'd be kind of funny. Throwing in a random backpack of like one item just to freak out the one kid you give it to. Like everyone else has got like different snacks and Ritz
Yeah, they
bits
got
and
food
stuff.
for the whole weekend.
What
One's
kind
just
of
got a
food did you
backpack
get?
full of bananas. Like what the fuck? It's
That'd be
full of-
so mean.
Did
These are
anyone
like the
else-
starving children.
Did anyone else get a backpack full of
Us.
bananas?
No, I got Doritos and a sandwich.
No, I
And an
got
apple.
$10 with my. Oh well. Mine's
I
just.
don't see the money in there.
Wait, the peels are empty. You bastards.
They're just empty banana peels.
Empty banana peels.
That's like my brother's running joke that he tries to do is he just throws banana peels on the ground like wherever my mom is going. And he
Oh.
thinks it's like the funniest thing, but like
Classic.
nothing ever happens, but she's always like, "You guys, it's not funny." And my brother's like, "Ah, the banana joke."
Just on her back on the ground with a broken leg.
Guys.
Banana joke.
Banana joke. One time my brother and I were at work and we just like we stayed until like, I don't know, 12:30 a.m. for a shift, and then we were like, all right, nothing's open, let's go to this one like pho restaurant where they have soup until like 3 a.m. We just want to sit down after working. Yeah. And then we get a call from my dad and we're like, he's like, your mom is in the hospital, guys. And we're like, what the fuck? And then he's like, well, she was walking some dogs, because we dogs a lot. And so she was walking some dogs, and the dog wasn't who tripped her. She was staring at some fireworks, just staring straight up, and she tripped over like a thing in the curb. So the curb was raised, and she tripped over it, she bit it, she broke her hand all up, and like we came home and my mom just like had like black eye everywhere. Yeah, she looked like
she
somebody,
fell on her
like,
chin broke. Yeah, that was it.
She fell like all like directly on her face and hand, I guess. That was what caught her fall. So she just
That's
looked
not
so
catching
beat
your
up.
fall. Don't give her that credit.
She caught the fall with her face.
With her face.
With her face. The last thing of your body that would hit the ground.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, don't you know how to, like, fall? Like, I'm so clumsy, I fall all the time, so I know to, like, properly fall and, like, roll into it. And she's like, nope, I just fell right on my face. My dad said it made a really big smack sound on the cement, and he was like, well.
I'm just imagining Lively professionally falling, like, she starts to fall, and she just, like, tightens into the ball. She's like, clear! Yes! I'm ready. Just gets immediately back up.
I love falling. I went to a climbing place
What?
last week on Friday, and I would just fall off the wall on purpose.
What?
Why?
I'm not good at climbing, so...
It's all those apricots.
Clearly, when you jump off of it...
Yeah.
That'd be... Okay, so it's like the movie of the guy that, like, free climbs the side of whatever's in Yosemite. It's just that with Lively, but she jumps off the halfway.
But I jump on purpose.
All right. Things to keep in our notes. Don't take Lively next to any tall buildings.
Yeah, I'm not taking her rock climbing. Jeez, there's
Hey guys, watch this!
I was hiking one time. I almost fell off of a cliff, right? Like, we were walking, the ground was kind of like, it gave out under me, I slipped, I caught myself, like, by my hand, and at the time, this was, like, with some church people, so one of them would be my future boss, and this was, like, one of the first times I hung out with her, and she was in charge of, like, youth group children, and she's like, oh my god, thank goodness you survived. Like, if a kid died on my watch, I would have lost my job. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, that was what she said, like, as I was, like, dangling off the cliff. I was like, oh.
I don't care about you, but my job.
She Batmaned herself off the cliff, and she's like, oh, that's good. That's good that I didn't get fired.
Phew. I also almost fell off the cliff one time at a Girl Scout camp. Like, we were supposed to bring...
Can you stop?
Everything happens to you. I don't think any of this has happened to you. I think you've lived your entire life in this room, and you've made up all of this.
Alright, this is a made-up story. Ready? So I was at Girl Scout camp. We had to go down this really massive hill, and then we were like, alright, we need to bring the supplies down from, like, our campsite to this really small area where the girls are seated for dinner, right? And we're like, I don't want to cart this all the way down. So me and these 3 other girls hopped in the cart. We called each other the Sausage Noodle Club, right? I don't really know why. I think we made sausage and noodles one time at a camping thing. I was spork. Anyways, so we hop in, and we're like, we're gonna ride it down this massive hill. Well, the hill... It wasn't a hill, it was a road, and there was a cliff on the side of it, and we didn't know. So
How
we
did
were
you
just
not know either of those things?
Well, we didn't pay attention. We didn't pay Yep. And so we were riding down, and then...
Man, this hill is really smooth, and they got lines dividing the hill. Thanks, God.
Thanks, God.
Nature is beautiful.
It sure is. Okay, it was a dirt road.
Wow, that giant animal is honking at us.
It was in the middle of a campsite. Anyways, so...
I think that's a moose.
like 2 of the girls end up bailing because the wagon is like turning off of an edge, but the ones who were in the center, me and this other girl, we couldn't get out in time. So the wagon just actually went over the side of the cliff, and we were screaming and fully prepared to die, and then a tree, like, at the start of the cliff stopped us, and, like, we crashed into it super hard, and, like, we're kind of flung out of it, but, like, yeah, we didn't fall off the cliff. It was crazy. We got so lucky, and then the girl got married to the tree. The other girl who survived in there with me, and he was Henry.
Whoa! You can't move. Shh.
We named
go
him
back.
Henry,
Go back.
and she married him. We had a little ceremony. And we didn't die. And then we brought the wagon down, and one of the wheels was busted.
Go back to the marriage.
Go
And
back.
She
went
married
back.
the tree?
Yeah, like when we had some downtime, when it was like, all right, it's like free time to go do whatever you want around the campsite, we were like, all right, do you take Henry the tree to be your husband? And she's like,
Oh,
yes,
so you guys
he
are just
saved
weird.
us. Yeah, we were the sausage noodle
Okay.
club. If
You
you
just
couldn't,
now
if you
found
couldn't
this
tell,
out.
it was strange. So, also on that same Girl Scout trip, this is just gonna be a story of like disasters we caused. This was an encampment, so it was only 2 days that we stayed there. It was a weekend trip.
The fuck is
All
an
right.
encampment?
A Girl Scout
It's like
encampment.
the pre-camp to like a war zone.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't
Yep.
know anything. I don't know words. The hell
We
is
all
an
showered
encampment?
together. We had a shower party.
Nice.
We were in
What?
swimsuits, so it wasn't that weird.
Okay,
Okay.
I was
We
gonna
had
say, what is a
swimsuits
shower
on.
party? I don't know
Yeah,
what any of this is.
Nick, you've never had a shower party with the
Yeah,
guys?
Gosh,
Only with my uncle.
Gosh.
All
With
right.
my
That was
that one creepy uncle. Yes. All right. So, we're in a
I
bunk
couldn't
bed.
reach my hair to shampoo it with the handcuffs on, so
He's in jail now.
It's fine. It's fine.
I don't know why. Mom and Dad never told me.
Really good kisser.
Oh. Good for you.
I hate this.
All right, I was on the top bunk. The girl below me. This was an old bunk bed type thing in a cabin. The girl below me was like kicking it, and she's like, "Look, it raises a little when I kick it." And she kept kicking it, and she kicked like directly through the bunk bed, and just like the wood shattered, and I fell through and just like crushed her. So we
You
destroyed-
killed another person.
Yeah,
Got
we
it.
had killed another person. There were like wood shreds like everywhere. Like one shard almost stabbed her. It was a good time, and she was like, "Wow, we broke a bed." And her mom was the leader, so like she never got in trouble for doing anything crazy. So she did that, and then her mom was like, "Well, you guys, you know what? You're just gonna have to sleep in your sleeping bags." And we were like, "Aw, man." And so then later, she was doing this thing where she stuck her pants, like her lower calf, she stuck it where her thigh would go in the pant leg, and she would walk around on her knees and just smush her legs together, and she would call herself an offensive term for a little person, right? We went to Little People Big World on one of the trips with the Girl Scouts one time, so she would like to pretend to be a little
dwarf?
person. Yes, but she would say an offensive word, and she's like, "Check
Okay, we
me
got
out."
it. Move on.
And then she would go away and be like, "Meh, meh, meh, meh," and she would just crawl around and do that and like pretend to bite people and stuff. Yeah, she was very strange. And
To bite people.
she was
You
like,
say she's very strange after you full on married a tree. But
"I didn't
anyway,
marry the tree."
I know
I
you didn't.
didn't
You were a
marry-
witness.
I was. I'm pretty sure I was the one that married them.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Just out in the middle of the
Yes.
woods, you hear like, no!
I was
So
like,
you did
"Speak
marry a
now."
tree.
Anyway, sorry, didn't want to interrupt the dwarf girl story.
Yes, I was like, "Speak now." Speak now, or forever hold your trees. And then so the girl was like, "I cannot
Oh my
go to
god.
the so
That was good. That was
so
good.
the girl was like, I have to go to the bathroom, but I can't take my pants off. You're gonna have to help me onto the toilet and like pull my pants down for me, right? So I helped her onto the toilet and like held her there while she peed with like her legs in the pants, right? And she was still making like the weird noises and was like, "I'm a munchkin," right? Kind of
She
like
a toddler?
I think we
How
were like
old are
12.
you, by the way, in this?
We were like 12. We were
That's
old
not.
enough.
That's
to...
not young enough.
Yeah, it's not young. Maybe we were 13. I think it was middle school.
We were 3 years
So-
old. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, so, what happens is when she's on the toilet, right, she knocks the back thing off of the top of the toilet and it shatters. Yeah.
you mean the
Really?
thing that weighs a ton and it's made out
Yeah.
of granite?
Yes.
How?
Yes, so she
You
knocked
don't
that off.
simply lean back and it falls off. You gotta lift that thing up.
Oh, whoops! I moved 30 pounds while shitting.
She was squirming around. And then, so, like, she couldn't reach the sink, so after that shattered, she was like, "I have to wash my hands now." I had to, like, lift her up with all my might and hold her up to get to the sink, and when she was on the sink, she leaned on it really hard, put her weight on it, and, like, made the sink bend, and then, like, you know, water was, like, spraying out and stuff, so she broke the sink and the thing on the top of the toilet. This was, like, all on
This is
the
the
same
worst
day.
bathroom trip ever.
Yeah.
She
it was
breaks the
great.
toilet, goes over to the sink, rips the sink out of the wall. Are you sure you weren't taking care of like Superwoman, like, but as a dick?
And so then the next day we went like canoeing, and me and my friends like tied our canoes together, but it turns out we used like this mega knot we learned on one of the trips, and it's like an untieable knot, and like these ropes were things that like
knot.
that
You
like
look
helps...
at it and it's just a black void. It's just whispering.
There's
What
no
the
one
fuck?
tying this bad boy.
That's
And,
a video
yeah,
idea right there. Okay, I gotta write that down.
You're like,
It's
write
alright.
that down,
I don't
write
get
that
very many of these anymore.
The mega knot. The
Cursed
mega knot.
knot. Alright,
Um,
move on.
Alright, write that down. Yeah, so we tied those together, and it turns out those, like, I don't know, the rope had, like, weights on it that, like, helped stabilize the canoe. Anyways, when we had to cut the ropes off, like, from each other, it effed up the canoes, and the people who were in charge of the canoes got really mad at us, and were like, alright, you guys have to put away the canoes for, like, 3 hours now instead of go to the fun camp activity. So, we broke, like, 2 canoes, a toilet, a sink, a bunk bed, and that wagon.
Nice.
All in those 2 days, so...
Doing a lot of damage there. Alright, yeah.
Yes.
You know who else did a lot of damage? Our 2 patrons. Segue.
Amazing.
I
segue.
am king. Anyway, we're coming to the end here, so I want to make sure we get in the notes here from these couple people. I'm going to start with our very first patron, Turntable Troglodyte. This was the note that he sent us today. By the way, so Turntable Troglodyte is a $15 patron. We love you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry you had to unfollow after this episode. We'll do better next month, I guess, if there is a next month. This was the note that they sent. I haven't read this yet. Okay. Riddle me this, gang. Oh, boy. 3 weeks ago, out of pure boredom, I chugged an entire container of raw oatmeal all in one go. Instantly, I became hooked and decided that from that day on, I was going to consume at least 1 full container of raw oatmeal daily and see where that would get me. 3 weeks later, and I'm up 3 containers for my dosage and down 45 pounds. I wake up every morning with a heart full of life, a head full of ideas, and a body full of energy. I truly can attest that I'm a changed individual. How did I manage all this, you may ask? Put simply, I just stuck to my disciplined routine of oatmeal consumption every morning, noon, and night. And by oatmeal consumption, I mean smoking crystal meth in an abandoned parking garage between 3 a.m. and 5 Central Standard Time. 8 out of 11 would recommend.
Very nice.
I love it. This is the funny I wish I could be. And then this next note is from our second patron, Smithy, Alabama.
Smithy, Alabama.
Juliana, I really hope that this person's good friends with you, because otherwise, I'm just gonna say it. It's a little interesting. So anyway, gonna get into this. Smithy, Alabama, at 1:26 a.m. said, "Read this to her." Read this to her, meaning Juliana. I remember sitting behind you at GR. I don't know what GR means.
Green River. That's my
Juliana, I've been in love with you since I saw that vine of you totally owning those dead army guys by vaping on their corpses.
Yes.
I know you're single, and it's because you've been waiting for a guy like me. Please, oh God, give me a chance. I know I'm not the best-looking guy, and my pompadour is kind of dated, but I think my personality makes up for it. The surgeries I had as a child to remove the webbing from my hands and feet was a complete success. They look way more humanoid now, so you don't need to worry about my deformities. Please, Juliana, I'd worship the ground you walk on if you'd only give me a chance. I know I'm a hoppa, and you hate those, but please, I know you'd like me if you got to know me. I hope my $15 will get us a lifetime of memories. Love you, toots. Shout me out and tell her it's from Aiden Maiden. My Instagram is at Markiplier. All right.
Nice.
Do you know this person?
I do, in fact, know this person.
Good. Okay. I was waiting for you to be like, I don't know this.
No.
Do you love them back?
I was gonna say, what's the answer
sure.
here?
Oh, that hurt me, and I didn't even write
Wow.
that.
All right, my soul. So the
Oh.
tree wedding was a-okay, but this is
Yes.
they removed the webbing, Juliana, for you.
For me?
I should have read that with like dramatic music, and
We'll edit it in, it's fine.
Oh my goodness. Copyright free dramatic music. Please, oh God, give me a chance. I know I'm not the best looking guy. And my pompadour is kind of dated. But I think my personality makes up for it. The surgeries I had as a child to remove the webbing from my...
Just makes it worse.
It does. It's like the oil baron from SNL. Do you remember that? The one with
Of course I remember that.
We love SNL here.
We love SNL. The surgeries I had as a child, boy, to remove the webbing from my hands and feet was a complete success.
My husband was in that
this, boy.
sketch. My husband!
Will you calm down?
Incubation technology was still in its infancy, so they put me inside of a cast iron pot, inside of a pizza oven, until I was ripe enough to walk. Sorry.
I squirted my seed!
Of course you would quote that part.
Yes, that's the love of my life.
Adam Driver?
Yes.
The hottest looking penguin that exists.
Yes. So sick.
No, he's great. Anyway, so that's the end of that note. Yeah, thank you guys very much for being patrons. We were just working on the tiers earlier, and we're hoping we can deliver some more fun stuff as the time goes on before you quit us at the end of the month. So thank you very much. We're coming up on like an hour and a half, so I think we're gonna wrap it up for today, right? Nick,
Yep.
You want to plug anything today?
Follow us on our Instagrams, because I don't think we've shouted our Instagrams out. What's your handle?
True. Mine everywhere is Señor Pequeños. That's the nice thing about having a random username. Well, it's not random, but having a special username is that you have it everywhere. So SENORPEQUENOS. I can't spell.
Gotcha. Lively, what's your Instagram handle?
I just made it. I don't remember, but it should be. It's got
Nice.
some O's in it instead of.
Here, I'll look at.
some
I have it.
zeros.
Hold
Zeros
on.
instead of O's in livelihood.
Hers is at livelihood, but the O's are zeros, and there's an underscore in between, so it's LIVELYH0_0D.
You had to make it fucking difficult, didn't you?
They didn't have just livelihood, and they didn't.
Well, yeah,
have
it's a common word.
It's spelled incorrectly. I spelled it incorrectly.
You think people spell correctly in this day and age?
That's true. That's true.
Every gas station that thinks it's adorable.
Come and go. Instagram is at I have no swag 97.
And that's not a joke. That's his actual handle.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming, and we will see you later.
See ya.
Bye bye.
I can't improv an ending to save my life. Please love me.